Good evening, I'm Bill Mahalan, and welcome to Good Sports, Pawtuckett's cable sports show since 1992. Tonight we celebrate our 450th Good Sports show with spring sports for the young and old. In our second segment, Bobby Brown, president of the Pineview Little League, will recap last year's successful season and preview the upcoming 2015 season. With me now is longtime Pawtucket resident Manny Costa, the first baseman and manager for the Action Auto Parts 60's slow pitch softball team that captured the 2014 Winter National Tournament in Florida, and his shortstop and co-manager Al Mello. Welcome to Good Sports, Manny and Al.
Thank you, Bill.
Good to have you guys here. Now, Manny and Al, first off, congratulations on being the national champions in the 60 to 65-year-old age group.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Talk about your experience in winning the 2014 Winter Nationals.
First, I'd like to congratulate you on your 450th episode of this show. That's quite an accomplishment.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I tip my cap to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
What did it mean for us to win? It meant a lot, especially coming from a small state like Rhode Island, to have the opportunity to go and see how you can compete against your peers from states where the weather is more conducive to softball for a longer period of time. One of the things when we go to Florida and we play in November in the Winter Nationals, that we have already not played for at least 6 or 7 weeks around here.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. So all we can do is we can practice, and we go down there and we always hold our own. So it's quite an accomplishment and something that I know we're proud of.
Sure. Yeah. Well, 2 out of the last 3 years, right? You told me you
exactly.
guys took the
2012 and 2015.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Al?
And for myself, it's such a great pleasure to go all the way to Florida, play against teams from New York and Florida up and down the East Coast, and bring home the trophy and the top spot to little old Rhode Island. It's just such a pleasure when we do that. In 2 out of the 3 years, it's such a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
To all
And
the guys.
the experience must be just terrifically fun. Do you guys fly down?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, with the wives, or do you keep the wives at home?
No, we always take our wives with
okay.
us. No,
Okay.
we take our wives with us. No, that's part of senior softball. Most people travel with their spouses or their girlfriends, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And the days are gone that guys would travel by themselves. Everybody today, most of us are retired. Al and I are retired, although we have a few guys that are still working. But it just makes it a fun thing, and the wives look forward to it. Believe me, they look forward to going to Florida for a weekend.
Yeah. So it's social and recreational, but at the same time, if you're an athlete and you guys have been athletes for a long, long time, it gets your competitive juices going, right? I mean, once you get on that field, then it's not recreational anymore. You play to win, and you play fair, correct?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Several of us have gone through some physical things in the last few years where we've had to take rehabs and physical therapy so we can get back to that level of play. So again, once you go out of state and you play against other teams, it's so good. And as far as bringing the wives, a lot of the guys bring their wives, spouses, whatever, their girlfriends, and they sort of parlay it into a vacation, into a mini vacation. Okay. We'll go down a couple days early, stay a day or two later after that, and squeeze the tournament in between.
And if you bring home the national championship, even better, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. That makes it all worthwhile.
Now, Alan, Manny, introduce your Action Auto Parts 60's team with a brief scouting report on each player. Al, let's begin with the infield, starting with Manny Costa at first.
Sure. Bill, the scouting report goes like this. The whole team, every member of this team is between the ages of 63 and 67. Not only that, but every member of this team has been playing slow pitch softball for more than 30 or 40 years, and some of us even longer than that. Okay. And that's our scouting report. We have so much experience. And the infield starts with Manny, who can play first base and help out in the outfield if we need it. One of the great assets of our team is so many of our players can play different positions, like Manny. At second base, we have Paul Denisi, who plays second base. If we need him in the outfield, he can play there. Our regular second baseman, Mario DeAngelis, fills in also in the outfield if we need him. Over the middle, it's an extra infielder. We have a guy, Tom Purvis from Southern Rhode Island, and he can fill in at first base and catcher. Myself at short, I share it with Jimmy Dean. Jimmy Dean can play in the outfield last year. One of our outfielders went down. He went out and helped us out there. So he can play. We have a third baseman, Paul DeRico. He can play first base, catcher, whatever. We also have Benny Aceto, who can play first and third. Our regular catcher, Frank Flip DeCapo, he not only catches, but he's our second pitcher. And if we needed him in a pinch, he would jump in the outfield also.
Yeah, and Manny, you going to take care of the outfield
Yes,
and the pitcher?
we have Lou Chumo as one of our outfielders, Jim Gemma, Wayne Medeiros, Ken Sheehan, and as Al said, Jim Dean. Jim Dean can play both positions. The first four I named, they're usually the guys that have been playing regularly in our outfield. Again, they're interchangeable. We can put anyone in any one of the four outfield positions very easily. Again, that's because of what Al pointed out, the number of years that we've been playing. You know, there aren't too many positions that if you're an outfielder that you haven't played over the years. Usually, the younger you are when you're at your best, you're in left field, like Al used to be. Al doesn't tell you, but Al was a great athlete and a great left fielder.
Yeah.
And as you get older, then you move around some. But the things that I can point out, they're all very capable. But Jim Gemma probably is, he's almost like an anomaly because he has such a good arm for a man who's in his 60s. And also Jim Dean. Now Ken Sheehan, he is, I don't know how to even put it, but he's just like so much faster than anyone that we have on the team. I mean, he can hit a routine ground ball and beat it out most of the time.
Is he batting left?
No,
From the right side?
from the right
That's
side.
impressive. Even when you're a young stud, never
Yeah.
mind getting into
No.
your 60s.
No. And so, again, and then our pitchers, Jerry DeShays. Jerry, when he's not pitching, he can play first base. And Flip the Corporal, Al already brought him up.
Yeah.
He's our other pitcher. But I have to tell you one other name, Bob Pierce.
Okay.
Bob Pierce travels with us, and he's not a ringer. He's a 68-year-old guy, but he has played with us. He plays with another team in the league. But Bob Pierce is an integral part of our winning the 2014 National Championship.
So Manny, when you're not playing in these tournaments, then you play in the Rhode Island Senior Softball League for 50 and older. Talk about that league.
Okay, the Rhode Island Senior Softball League was founded in 1982 by four men, and I have their names here because I want to give them credit for what they ended up doing. They ended up starting this. It was a Len Yanko, Joe Giordano, and the Nicolini, and the other person, Baxter, Leo Baxter. These four gentlemen in 1982 used to go and hit the ball, and there was no league for them to play in. So they were sitting down around coffee one day, and they said, "Why can't we have a league?" Well, that talk led to them putting a four-team league together that wasn't. They didn't use any umpires or anything. That league turned into the Rhode Island Senior Softball League today, which has between 400 and 450 players.
Really?
Started off with four teams. We now have 21 teams.
Outstanding. 4 divisions.
4 divisions. And the first division is the younger guys. That's 50 and over. That's the youngest you can play in the league. The fourth division, all the players in that league have to be over 60 years old. And beside the Rhode Island Senior Softball League, we have 2 other leagues on Wednesday that Al and I participate in. And it's the Warwick Senior Softball League played at in Warwick. And you have to be 57 to play in that league. It's a doubleheader every Wednesday. And that's a good league for someone who hasn't played in a long time and maybe wants to see if he can still play. So that's another option. And last year, for the first time, there was a league that started on Friday for 62 and over. And it's the same format, senior softball rules, and it's played one doubleheader every Friday. So beside the Rhode Island Senior Softball League that we play in, which is quite competitive on Sundays, there are other softball leagues for people who haven't played in many years to, if they choose, to go back and play.
Yeah,
and hopefully the people watching this show will find out that these are available to them.
Sure. So plenty of opportunities if you want to get back into getting yourself fit and enjoying and being part of the whole social thing.
Absolutely.
Now, Al, the Rhode Island Senior Softball League has instituted special rules for the safety and enjoyment of the players. Let's begin with a double bag at first base.
I'll touch on a few things. The double bag at first base.
Okay.
There's a extra base, same size as the first base, adjacent to that in foul territory.
Okay.
If the batter, if there's any play being made at first base, the batter is required to stay on the outside bag, avoiding tripping, stepping on the first baseman's foot. Very saves a lot of injuries there. There's also an extra home plate. In foul territory, 10 feet away from the regular home plate, anybody coming in to score has to go to that extra home plate, which makes the plays at home plate force outs, just like at first base.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Again, avoiding collisions, avoiding sliding at our age, whatever.
Okay.
And another major thing that people don't think of it as a safety thing is they allow us an extra infielder, and they usually play behind second base. And what that does is discourage guys from hitting balls back at the pitcher, who is really close to the batter and everything like that, and the balls are coming off. The balls are made harder nowadays. The bats, technology has come into our sports, and the balls come off the bats harder. So that extra player behind second base discourages people from hitting the ball up the middle and injuring the
Never
pitchers.
thought about it that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how about the? You had told me before the show something about a commitment line. What's the commitment
Oh,
line?
I mean,
Commitment line is, I believe it's about 10 or 15 feet up from home plate, the regular home plate. If you're a runner and you come around third base and you go past that commitment line, you have to go home. You cannot return back to third base. And also one other thing at the plate, if you slide into the plate, you're out. You don't slide. You can slide at second or third.
Well, but there's no need to slide at the
No.
plate because the
No.
catcher's off
No.
to one side and the
No.
plate's off to the other
Right.
side,
That's
right?
correct.
And one of the things that guys find hard to get used to when they first play is that many guys will play their first game and they'll be on base and somebody will get a hit and they'll come home and they'll go to home plate and they're out because they didn't go to the second base that I'll describe to you off to the side, you know?
Yeah, well, after playing for 30 years,
Yes,
I'm sure
right.
that would be
That's
almost
right.
like that. And then just real quickly, balls and strikes. You do have an umpire, right? But the balls and strikes are a lot easier to call, correct?
Yeah, no.
Yep. There's a mat there. It extends from home plate, and they extend it back a few feet there, so it's a rectangular mat.
Yeah.
And if the ball is pitched, it has to stay between 6 feet high and 12 feet high most of the time. And if it hits that mat, it's a strike. If it doesn't hit that mat, it's a ball.
Simple.
So it makes calling balls and strikes very easy for the umpire.
Okay. Now, Manny and Al, what do you see as your roles as co-managers of the national champion Action Auto Pot 60 slow pitch softball team?
What do I see? I feel that the biggest thing that I have to do, again, all the players are experienced. We're friends. The thing that I feel that I have to do is to always try to put people into a position where they can succeed. That's very important.
And you have interchangeable pots.
And we have
what you guys
interchangeable
told me about
pots.
that's a terrific asset for you guys.
Absolutely, we have interchangeable pots, and again, the guys honestly make it very easy for us to run the team. They do. So again, it's not a hard thing to do, but again, I personally try to always make sure that I want to put somebody in a position where they can succeed.
Yeah. And Al, quickly, your perspective on
Yep.
co-manager?
I'll tell you, it's so easy, like Manny said. My perspective is this. My job is to make sure every one of the guys enjoys himself and has a lot of fun. And we've been doing that for 4 years as the same guys. And the second thing is, these guys are just so experienced, we can't say enough, that no matter where you play, if you have to sit down a game, whatever like that, the positive feedback is so well. There's nothing negative I can say about this team. And it's Manny and I's job is to keep the special makeup of this team for as long as we can. We're talking right now about going into the sunset, into our 70s with the same team and the same special makeup. I've played on a lot of teams. I fell in love with the sport in 1968, and I've been played at every level in the state. And I have not played on such a special team as I'm playing on now. I can say that.
How cool is that, guys? Huh?
Absolutely.
How cool is that? Now, we have, remarkably, 1 minute left in this segment
Okay.
here, Manny. If a member of our Good Sports audience was interested in playing in the Rhode Island Senior Softball League this year, how would they be able to do so?
Okay, the easiest way is to do a Google search, a Yahoo search.
Say that
and
again.
A Google search
Yeah.
or a Yahoo search and type in Rhode Island Senior Softball League. And the first option that comes up will be our league. They can contact either Kurt Schalberg, who is the commissioner, or Don Aceto, who is his deputy commissioner. They can give them any information that they need as far as playing in that league, or also information for Wednesday and for Friday. And I also would like to give a shout out to our sponsor, Bob Daly, because without a good sponsor, you can't play softball. And if I have 10 seconds, I want to add the two most important things that we need for our team by far. We have chairs. Everybody has their own chair that with their name and their number that we sit on. And the most important thing is the beer at the end of the game.
So nothing has changed from my times back in the 60s and 70s. Well, Manny and Al, thank you for sharing your insights into the over 50 Rhode Island Senior Softball League. Congratulations on bringing the national championship second time back to Rhode Island, and good luck with the upcoming season.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks for
You're
having
very
me.
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
My pleasure.